Hey everybody, so we are going to do a quick drive through Indiantown Gap National Cemetery. We've been here before. I wanted to come through here when the flags were up. Memorial Day is just not appropriate that weekend because there's so many people here visiting loved ones' graves. So I wanted to come through here just so you guys can see with the flags up. Unfortunately, they took all the little flags down because over on the side here they had hundreds and hundreds of flags. I think they put those little flags up, one for each burial that's here. So it's just such a neat place to come on Memorial Day. Now, given Indiantown Gap National Cemetery, this is more a place that people get buried, like my dad, who lived through war and then came back home and then died later, passed on. And this isn't like Arlington National Cemetery where soldiers who have died in combat are buried there, which is the purpose of Memorial Day, is for those that made the ultimate sacrifice. But nonetheless, people like to come here, one, just to see all the flags. All these flags that you're seeing, these are state flags. Now, those are flags for the military branches. These are the flags of the different states, all 50 states, and probably District of Columbia, a couple other things, and maybe territories and things like that. But this is just, it's such a beautiful place. Now, over there is the Pennsylvania National Guard Monument. We will visit that at another time. We're just going to do a general drive through here right now. And one of the things you do have to be cognizant of here, there is a burial that's going to be happening. So you always, when you come out here, you want to be very aware of that and all that. Let me just pause for a second. I didn't want to put that guy on film because a lot of people don't want to be on film. That's where they're actually going to bury over there, because they have them, I forget what they call them, but we actually, a couple years back, Jim, who I worked for, and his company, we were able to get in here to do one of the burial places where they have the funeral service and that, the shelters, and we were able to mulch that, and it was just tremendous honor. And then every now and then you'd hear taps playing, and that was, my dad is buried out here, and we went through that service, and it just sort of, nothing quite hits you like the tap ceremony and then the 21 gun salute. And then when, on behalf of a grateful nation, they hand you the flag. I mean, I get a little emotional now about it, because it's just one of those things that, you realize, your dad's gone, but also it's one of those things that the service that he gave and that all these men and women out here gave to their country. And, you had those that didn't come back who were the heroes. A lot of the guys that come back will say the real heroes are the individuals who never came back, who are buried over there. But the people that came back were heroes as well. And they came back completely changed. You don't go into war unaltered, come out of it unaltered, I should say. War is an unnatural act that we were never intended to partake in, but yet find ourselves so adept at. And you see the very best of mankind in those times and the very worst. And these areas here, you see the upright grave markers. Where my dad's buried in area 27, they're all on ground markers. These are just, there's no explanation. It's just, you look at that and it's just stunning. It's terribly, terribly sad, but yet, every single one of these individuals was either an individual that went to war, or an individual, let me put the window down here, or an individual that was married to a serviceman or servicewoman. And yeah, you truly can say thank you for your service. And I know I've had the conversations in the past, people have made comments, and I prefer you not make comments like this, but understand that there are wars, especially recently, sometimes have been fought where it's sort of the poor man, you know, it's a rich man's war and the poor men that go and fight and die. And you can go. And you see this, and then people make comments about, oh, people need to understand what war is really about. And I get that, but nonetheless, to say these individuals fought for a cause, a lot of times fought for people that they didn't know and were never going to know. People sometimes that didn't appreciate what they were over there for freedom's sake. And once again, you can fight on all the different reasons we went to war, and that maybe it's not necessarily what it was always said, but at the end of the day, these individuals, they fought because their love of country, their love of their fellow man, and there is no greater love than the love of someone who's willing to lay down their life for another. And places like this are very symbolic of that, and just extraordinarily beautiful places. The staff here does such a phenomenal job of caretaking, and you can't help but commend them over what they do here. These areas over here, these are all the flat stones, and that's my dad's buried up in this section up here, and there's just another section with the upstanding gravestones. A couple friends, their family members are buried out here, and it's a place that means a great deal to many of us that have those loved ones. Over there is area 27. Actually, no, I do need to go this way. I know it is that way. Right over there is where my dad's buried. I'm not going to get out and walk, but we'll go through this area up here. And it's stunning with the American flags on. I'm so thankful I was able to get out here and film with the flags. And it's just beautiful breeze. The smoke is gone. And you just look at this, and it's just stunning. I know a number of my friends, the one lady, her husband works out here, did, and another couple gentlemen that really phenomenal people that are not quite sure what's going on here. I think it's some of the staff going the wrong way. Ooh. But yeah, there's just something about going past rows and rows and rows of these tombstones, and these are all people that served. That's the one that they're having a funeral there now, so I might be quiet, but that's the section that we did. But once again, it's just so serene. And once again, we're back. I'm going to be shooting off to the left because there's a whole bunch of people here that are in one area, and I don't want to interrupt what they're doing. Visiting a loved one's grave. Once again, as you can see there, it's just stunning. Just stopping here and there to take some photographs. It just really is just beautiful how this is taken care of. Sorry. We will be coming back here though, because there's a couple different memorials that they have out here. One is to, I think, the Seabees. One is, I want to say, Spanish American War. There's a couple unique ones. One to the submarine, the individual in the submarines that passed. That's a cool memorial. And then obviously we want to stop up at the Pennsylvania National Guard Memorial, because that is such a neat place to go, and just really takes your breath away. Some of the statements there are just so very, very true, and need to be reminded of these things quite often, because freedom is not free, and it is definitely not without sacrifice. You can see over there, it's just such a stunning place. We will go there at another time and do some of those, because I've got to get the work, pay the bills, and do all that. But once again, I want to say thank you, everybody, for coming along and going on another little journey here. I would have loved to have done this Memorial Day, because like I said, it's so stunning with all the little flags, like that whole field over there full of flags, you know, because I believe why that is they're doing it for every single veteran that's buried here. It's just very, very neat, and it's definitely something to come here and just experience, you know, and respect here in the United States or in whatever country you're from. You have these national cemeteries. It gives you an appreciation of the cost of freedom, the cost of the sacrifice. And, you know, like in this particular cemetery's case, these were individuals that came back from war. At least I believe the vast majority of them. I believe that's what this cemetery is for. I'll have to look that up and correct it if I'm wrong. But it really is a stunning place. So as always, I want to say thank you, and we will see you all about town.